Okay, I want you to imagine your Monday morning. Just picture it, but this time it starts completely differently. There's no alarm clock, that horrible sound jolting you awake.
There's no bumper-to-bumper traffic, no inbox overflowing with emails demanding your attention.
And maybe best of all, no boss.
Now, this isn't a dream about retirement or winning the lottery. It's something much, much bigger. This is a future where the very concept of human work as we know it, well, it's becoming obsolete. And that simple fact changes absolutely everything.
Look, we are standing right on the precipice of maybe the single greatest economic shift in all of human history. For centuries, the deal has been pretty simple, right? You trade your time, your skills, your labor for the money you need to live. But that fundamental deal, it's about to be broken.
And this is why. The Industrial Revolution, that was one thing. It replaced our muscle. We built machines to do the heavy lifting. And we adapted. We became the thinkers, the managers, the people who operated the machines. But this AI revolution is completely different. It's not coming for our biceps. It's coming for our brains.
For the very first time in history, we've built a tool that can learn, reason, and create all by itself. Just think about it for a second. Junior lawyers are already being outperformed by algorithms that can sift through millions of legal documents in a blink. Programmers are finding themselves supervising code that AI just generates. This isn't about automating the boring, repetitive stuff anymore. This is about automating human intelligence itself. Your resume? It's becoming obsolete.
Which brings us to a really, really simple and frankly kind of terrifying question. When a machine can do pretty much any cognitive task better, faster, and cheaper than a person, what happens then? The entire foundation of our economic system starts to look pretty shaky. So what's left for us? What remains when the machine can just do everything better?
Well, this massive existential threat is actually leading to a pretty radical idea. And it's an idea born not from some utopian fantasy, but, get this, from a pragmatic need for capitalism itself to survive.
It's called Universal Basic Income. You've probably heard of it, UBI. And the concept is about as simple as it is revolutionary. A regular, unconditional payment sent to every single citizen, enough to cover the basics, no strings attached.
But here's the twist. UBI isn't about charity. Not really. It's a survival mechanism for the system. Imagine a world where Amazon's robots and Google's AI are running everything with perfect efficiency. Sounds great, right? But hold on. If nobody has a job, nobody has a paycheck. So who's going to buy all that stuff? See the problem? Without consumers, the whole system just implodes. UBI is basically the emergency maintenance required to keep the engine running.
Yeah, the logic is a straight line. AI automates production and services. That means human jobs disappear. When jobs disappear, consumer spending just collapses. So you bring in UBI to give people that purchasing power again. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? This is why some of the biggest cheerleaders for UBI aren't socialists. They're Silicon Valley billionaires. Guys like Sam Altman, Elon Musk, they see the writing on the wall. They know what's coming, and they understand that social stability has a price tag.
Okay, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. This path to a supposed work-free paradise, it is absolutely littered with dangers. The solution sounds simple, but the consequences, they are incredibly complex.
And it forces us to ask a really tough question. Beyond the economics, beyond the dollars and cents, what is the true cost here? So there are basically two huge risks we need to talk about. First, there's the obvious economic one. If everyone suddenly gets $2,000 a month, doesn't the landlord just raise the rent by $2,000? Hyperinflation is a very real, very scary possibility. But then there's the other risk, the existential one. And honestly, this one is way more profound. It's the difference between having an empty wallet and having an empty soul.
Think about it. For modern humans, for us, work is so much more than just a paycheck, isn't it? It's our community. It's our status. For a lot of people, it's the reason they get out of bed in the morning. It's that feeling of being useful, of contributing to something bigger than yourself.
So what happens to us, to our sense of self, when we're just not needed anymore? What do you do when your passion, maybe it's painting, or writing, or composing music, is instantly and effortlessly surpassed by an algorithm? This is the real crisis. The last job isn't about the loss of income. It's about the loss of meaning.
Which brings us to our final job, our final challenge. Because the future isn't written yet. We are standing at a crossroads, facing a choice between two wildly different outcomes.
Down one path, you could argue it's a kind of utopia. A new renaissance, a golden age where humanity is finally freed up to pursue art, philosophy, real community. A world where we stop working for a living and we start working on living. But the other path, well, that leads to dystopia. A society pacified by what you could call digital bread and circuses, just kept docile, glued to screens, fed an endless stream of entertainment and synthetic pleasure while a tiny elite holds all the cards.
One thing is for sure, though, this transition, whichever way it goes, is going to force us to completely redefine what it even means to be valuable as a human being. We have to figure out, right now, what our purpose is when our labor itself has no economic value.
And that leaves us with one last, very personal question. The last job you might ever have, and maybe the hardest job of all, is figuring out the answer to this. Who are you when you no longer have to be what you do?